Hello and welcome to another video. We've just dropped into a mock draft.
And we've literally got a draft. I don't know how long do we have. That's the question for this one. It's a PPR league, 14 teams, is that
12
right?
Teams,
12 teams, okay.
Saquon Barkley's still there at 3. It's a no-brainer, isn't it?
It's a no-brainer if you're sitting at 3, yes. We'll take Saquon Barkley. So there we are. So we're picking already. It's a actual live draft. There are quite a few drafters involved in it. So we're doing this using Fantasy Football Calculator.
Yeah, we thought we'd give it a try.
So we'll give that a try with Fantasy Pros just to see the differences. So far it's fairly normal. We would expect here at pick 4 that this is Alvin Kamara, which it was. And now pick 5 it gets more interesting. Melvin Gordon went and DeAndre Hopkins. So who do you think will go next, or what are you thinking in terms of who will come back to us?
So we're going to be about pick
20-ish.
21.
21, yeah. I'd like to get.
I don't know.
I mean, I'd like to get Antonio Brown if he came
drafted players.
Quite nice. I'm surprised. I suppose any moment now we should see Johnson go, and then Devontae Adams, and Devontae Adams has just gone. I would expect David Johnson must go at this point, surely, according to the ADP. That makes a lot of sense. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, we've got a few real humans in here, and a few. I mean, Twix. I mean, what's he going to do?
Take a break, probably. Good old Twix.
Kit Kat, isn't it?
I don't know. He's taken Julio Jones. That's fine. Michael
PPR.
Thomas went at 10. It's interesting. David Johnson went at 9.
No Bell still there. James Conner, not someone you're fan from.
Well, I got my issues over some of these guys, but we don't have to worry about them because we ain't taking them, so that's all good. So we're just sitting here waiting to see what happens. I mean, I suppose what we should try and do is give our thoughts here. We took the obvious player at 3. What are we hoping bounces back? I mean, I'd love to get Antonio Brown down there or Mike Evans. That would be pretty good to balance the team. That would be a nice 1-2 punch.
Yeah, don't mind Chubb. I don't mind Dalvin Cook in half-point PPR.
I think if we
don't mind Mixon, don't mind Bell. None of them are going to get to us, are they?
No, well, I think there's quite a lot to like. Travis Kelce went. It's interesting. Then Lev Bell's just gone off the board. Expect the ADPs to follow kind of suit here. Let's see. Yeah, Joe Mixon's gone.
Yeah,
that makes sense. I think Cook and Connor and Gurley should all go at this point. I'd hate it if Gurley made his way down to us because I'm still not picking him.
No, me
so
neither.
I'm not touching him down there. Sorry.
Damien Williams, would you be happy with
I think I would take a shot if it was a true draft. Yeah, I think we should elevate Williams but there is one reservation over him, which is the workload. He hasn't done a huge workload, so maybe there's a few players above him that you would probably put first.
You've got Halibut on the clock here. There's no jokes about being fishy.
He didn't even go for Chubb. That's a
He
shame.
didn't
He didn't even go for Chubb.
It
should have been. It wasn't meant to be. What a shame. Missed out. Chubb would be good.
I know.
Well, a lot of options here. This is quite interesting.
So,
is there any shocks?
He could put Patrick Mahomes in the foot. It's not 2 QB, so that's really weird taking him at 7.
Yeah, it is, particularly in PPR.
Far too well,
Gurley's gone. That's good news. Dalvin Cook went. He's going to have a quite.
So Antonio Brown is still there.
That's interesting. You've also got some great options here. So you've got Brown and Evans. We'll have some nice choices. Here we go. So Antonio Brown did just go according to the ADP. We've got Mike Evans if we want to go with him. Because it's PPR, is it half point or full point?
Half point.
Do you think we should just try and take another 3 down kind of back? And Nick Chubb's going to have all the early work here. And then try to take Hunt later. Just
Chubb or Williams? You'd rather have Chubb, would you?
I think I probably would err on the side of Chubb because Damien Williams hasn't done the big load. But it is splitting hairs.
Okay, well, I'm happy to take
it.
So we got Barkley and Chubb.
We're still going to get somebody quite good on the bounce back. So
yeah.
You never know who's going to still be there. We'd expect them both to go, but we'll see. Mike Evans has gone. Damien Williams has gone. But Aaron Jones is still there. Could he possibly come back to us? Because if he did, I think that would be super.
We take 3 running backs.
I think we could. We could. And for this particular warrant of this video, just because we're picking early and it's a traditional snake, it would give us a nice edge, particularly if anything was to happen to Chubb. Aaron Jones did go, so the pick before. So that means we're open. We can do anything we like. So make your case. Who would you think here?
Well, it's only 30 seconds, so we probably wide receiver. I wouldn't mind Green or Thielen. Or
you're a big fan of Green.
He's elite when he plays, isn't he?
So let's take the elite guy when he plays, and then build off that in case anything goes wrong. But that's fine.
So I'd be happy getting with that start.
That'd be a fabulous. You can't argue with that if you got those 3 to begin with. You'd feel fairly confident. The guy who's got Christian McCaffrey, Mike Evans.
There's a bit of abuse in the chat for the guy that took Mahomes.
Yeah, well, that's understandable.
I don't know why he took him at 7. That's just stupid. Never do that. He's a good player, but that's just
There's
stupid.
no need to take the quarterback early. I don't expect many people, even in PPR, will take an early quarterback. We'll have time to think about it. It becomes a bit of a lazy pick, doesn't it? Sometimes taking quarterbacks early.
Yeah.
You're almost putting yourself in trouble.
We've actually got quite a full lobby here. There's only 3.
Interesting that
Zach.
Do you agree with that? Zackert's picked there in the 3rd. That's quite early for a tight end there.
It's where he's going. I wouldn't pick him there, but that's where he's going.
I just wouldn't buy into that. I'm not even buying into Phelan, actually. I think Diggs is much better value. In fact, if Diggs came all the way back to us, that would be pretty smart.
Not a chance, is there? He's not a chance.
Not really, no. But you can wishful thinking, you know.
Halibut, have you got any more fish jokes up here?
No. White, James White. There's a fish. Whitehead. There's a few, possibly. I don't know.
I think you're floundering. No, we'll stop it. No.
Okay, so who do we think then? So let's see.
Leonard Fournette.
So he's got 3 running backs.
David Johnson, Joe Mixon, Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, it's interesting, but could prove.
Derrick Henry's gone.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad looking team.
Michael
Michael
Thomas,
Lev Bell, and Derrick Henry's okay. You've mitigated the risk with Henry, so that's to a degree is okay.
If I'd taken Julio and Kelsey, I'd be quite happy with Kerryon Johnson at the end of the 3rd.
I would be very happy with that. Yeah, I think that's a nice draft there.
And if you could get Diggs, like the next pick.
He took George Kittle there at 12. That's a bit weird. I mean, but he has got 2. You could argue he's got 2 very interesting wide receivers. My only concern.
No running backs, and he's going.
My only concern.
He's going
with
0 RB.
He looks like it. My concern with that guy is that Odell Beckham hasn't stayed healthy for 2 years, and Juju Smith-Schuster's about to find out what it's like to be a wide receiver 1.
And Kittle's only played 3 games with Jimmy G.
It's going to be interesting. That team might well struggle. He has taken Philip Lindsay. I suppose that's a sensible pick.
You've got him, you've got no running back.
You have to take him. He's probably the best of the bunch that's left at that point. David Montgomery's now come up on the list. You know how highly I think of him. But we've also got the other option here that could well be sitting there. Could be Tyreek Hill for us. That would be very nice.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't mind that to go with Green.
No. He's a first-round player if
he plays well. I mean, wouldn't mind that here, particularly in this PPR league. That could be very useful. He might miss a few games, but I could live with that.
How many computers are there?
Well, he's still...
No,
he's gone. So that's off the board. Josh Jacobs is gone.
Ray took him, so he's got
okay, well, one would have to suspect that... Montgomery should go. Mark Ingram would be fantastic value down here, though, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind him.
So we've got 1 or 2. Montgomery or Ingram. I'd be quite happy with either, frankly.
I think I'd take Ingram for redraft.
Yeah, absolutely, because he's proven. And
so when someone takes Ingram, what are we going to do?
Then we'll debate it at that point for a few seconds and have to pull the trigger on somebody. But I don't mind Robert Woods. I don't mind Chris Carson, but we know the risk with Carson because we'd probably have to try and handcuff Penny.
We have got 2 RBs already. We'll have to bet that in.
Never harms, does it?
No.
What are the draft positions for this if it was a real team?
There you go, Mark Ingram.
There we are. So that's that debate gone.
So should we have a look at some wide receivers, perhaps? What about...
I quite like Mike Williams. It'd be the old faithful, but
we get him on the balance.
So why don't we take Robert Woods because there's no guarantees. Cooper Kupp's all the way back. We have got Montgomery, that wouldn't be bad either, but I think we need another wide receiver.
I'd rather take
Woods, I think.
I think.
Yeah, Woods is going to be good there because we don't know how far back Kupp is going to be from the injury.
He's our wide receiver too. I'm quite happy with Robert
quite
Woods
solid.
There. And we'll see if there's a Mike
Montgomery has gone. Chris Godwin's gone. I think that's a bit early.
You don't like Godwin, do you?
Not a huge fan of him.
I'm much more higher on him than you are.
But I do get the idea that he's in the slot, so the work's going to be there. I do get it, but and I suppose in the 5th round it's not too bad because you're only looking for 120 fantasy points. And in PPR it's a little bit higher, but you're only talking 140, 145, so it's okay.
Any temptation to take a look there?
Yeah, there is.
Or would you rather do a late?
There is temptation because you won't get many chances to pull the trigger on elite quarterbacks. This is our chance before the turn, and we won't be able to control anything after this. But there's too many left.
So this is us again.
So we won't do that. Let's look at the running backs very quickly just to see who's out.
Kenyon Drake, Tarek Cohen, Darius Guice, James White.
None that are appealing.
Really,
Nothing that appeals to me at this stage. Mike Williams.
Okay.
We never pass him up if he's there. He's
our third receiver.
And you'd feel fairly happy with that in PPR. You feel you've got the best of the mix and match group. That's quite nice. Okay, so Aaron Rodgers, the second QB, has gone off the board. Jarvis Landry, quite good value actually, I suppose, in the 5th. That's not bad. Kenyon Drake, don't like that pick at all. I think that's awful.
He's got
But then
potential,
he's got a couple of running backs ahead of him, so he's okay because he's mitigated the risk. The only thing is though, he hasn't got really. I mean, Tyreek Hill could face a suspension of some kind, and he's got no other wide receiver yet. So going to be interesting to see what he does. Be nice if we played in week 1. Actually, that would be quite good. It never quite pans out that way, does it, Al? For us,
I'm not afraid of anyone, Sean. He's got to
Never
beat them
afraid.
all at some stage.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Oh, not all of them, but most of them.
Happy, quite good there. Andrew Luck's gone.
That's quite good value.
Yeah,
Late
that's good.
4th.
Very good. And then
Sean Watson straight after.
yeah,
So
well, there's a
sort of
little run. We
3 quarterbacks
suspect
there.
it. We will probably have to play the late quarterback strategy at this point and just keep putting players onto the team, which is fine.
I'm happy to do that.
Yeah,
Stock
quite
up.
happy to do it.
There's
There's some lovely players out there. Could you just look at the all for a moment just to see the best players that are recommended at this point? Wouldn't be touching OJ Howard. Love Calvin Ridley, particularly at this part of the draft. Tarek Cohen has a value. Lamar Miller would be nice. Solid, does the job. Easy to load
Evan
on.
Ingram,
Not really tight ends early. I'm not going to do it in a half point. People are
especially ones that play for the Giants.
yeah, not going to touch those guys. There's plenty of other players I prefer. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Looks like he's going to time out an auto pick, is he? James White. Dear.
Oh, that's awful.
Wouldn't want
Wow.
him in the 5th.
George Kittle, Philip Lindsay, and James White. That's not good. Why the hell would you take that? Don't get it. Is that an actual person pick? Do you think?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, that's sad. He must be a New England fan.
He's
probably.
not. He's not there, is he? Because he's clearly going to tick down for another. It's 20 seconds of our
So
life.
he's given up. All he wanted to do was draft at 12 for the first few picks and has given up. So this happens sometimes. When
Or he's at work and his bosses just walk by.
You know,
What are you doing?
Nothing.
Just looking at some figures from the
stock take last week.
Yeah. You're very conscientious, Sean.
Yeah, well done. And what was the figures? I was just looking at somebody called James who's put this information in. Thanks.
Luckily, we're in the white. There you go.
Yeah. Not liking it, to be honest with you. It's
Calvin Ridley.
yeah, it was on the
Yeah, see
ADP. It's a good
Yeah,
pick
I
for
don't mind
what
that,
he's
though.
already got is great because that mitigates some of the risk with Odell Beckham.
He's alright. It's your third.
It's the
receiver,
massive-
isn't he,
It's the
really?
massive advantage. We say this all the time when you're drafting with 12 teams or less because it's quite a small league. You have those extra rounds, 2 or 3 rounds, to mitigate the risks from the higher part of the draft, and that's what a lot of these teams have. This would be actually quite a close draft because you can afford to get 1 or 2 small little things wrong and still be okay. I mean, that's
Twix
lovely.
has taken a break. He's not here either.
Yeah, I mean, I like that actually. That pick there really helps the rest of his draft. He just needs another running back that you could
But he
trust.
didn't make it. That's the thing.
No,
That's the problem.
Hunter Henry, no chance. Not this early. Sorry, Tevin Coleman's okay, but
I'd rather
Okay, I
have
think-
OJ Howard if I was going to take a tight end,
yeah, it's a lot.
which
to-
I wouldn't be.
No. So again, we're going to have to start thinking ahead here, Al. Our team's fairly balanced actually, but we should just look.
Yeah, so 2 running backs and 3 wide receivers.
Just look ahead. I mean, again, we never mind holding the running back cards because we always think they have for more in trade anyway. So we'll think ahead. But I wouldn't mind Lamar Miller because I still think he has that steady value. He's not exciting, but for 6-round value, that's as cheap as
I
you're
wouldn't
going to
mind
get.
Robbie Anderson.
Yeah, Robbie Anderson would be a good one to
I like
target.
him.
Yeah, lot of chance to do well. A lot of chance to get 70+ catches. I think.
Alshon Jeffrey.
No. You know me and Alshon, we have a history which is fairly clear. Don't draft him. It works out very well between us. We've got that great relationship. It always works. Always works very well.
Well, Halibut's gone missing as well.
Oh, Halibut, what a shame. I liked Halibut. Prefer Place, but Halibut's okay.
I'm not really a fish man.
No, that's
No.
surprising.
Yeah,
I thought you.
yeah, it's surprising that. Yeah.
I thought you would have liked fish. Not at all.
No,
No.
and if it's covered in batter.
Oh God.
Exactly.
Right. So who do we think then? We obviously we're going to wait on quarterbacks now because the top
Yeah.
ones are gone pretty much. Would there be any argument on going after Baker? Or would you just think just leave it? We have got the choice. Robbie, your guy went Anderson the pick before. We've had a bit of that in this draft. So
and, Lamar Miller went to pick before that.
okay,
So,
can we just do this just for
what
fun?
about your man Darrell?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Take Darrell now. It's the right round.
Round 6.
We probably would get him on the bounce back.
Yeah,
Probably.
So, do you want to take Baker first then?
Yeah,
He
because
might go.
we won't get him again. So we'll take the
You
quarterback.
like Baker, don't you?
I do for this year, yeah, I do for redraft as well, particularly. I think he's really good value. He is a top back, but sorry,
Got some
top
good
quarterback.
weapons.
Great weapon, great opportunity, and yeah, the games. There's going to be it's an interesting schedule
Why
for.
isn't Latavius Murray to it? I know he plays for the Saints, but
Well, there's value there, isn't there? Particularly in standard.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
suppose.
there's some value, but again, it's all risk, isn't it? I'll tell you the player down there that's right at the edge of that list that's doing very well again this year is Christian Kirk's coming on beautifully this year. It looks really interesting. Camp news, quarterback news, everything. He's really gelling very well. So I think Kirk is going to be very
if you
comfortable.
like drafting players on the worst team in football, then yeah.
Well, I'm not talking about for our draft here. I'm just saying if you've got him in Dynasty, just don't hold for now and see how it matures.
Has gone. Well, that's quite early.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, that's unfortunate. But he's got quite a good 3 ahead, so that's worth. It is worth the risk.
So you want to go Darrell?
I do want to take Henderson, and I want to lock in the potential. It is a risky player, but we've got plenty on our squad to mitigate one risk.
I mean, Kareem Hunt's just gone before him, so he's going to probably play less games at least.
Oh, he is, yeah, without a doubt.
We're banking on some sort of girly.
And then Sanders went the pick afterwards, so I'm not even worried about Alshon Jeffrey, not too worried. Tyler Boyd could have a nice year.
Yeah,
but we've already got AJ Green, so there was no real point taking Tyler Boyd, to be honest.
No, you don't want 2 receivers on the same team, really, do you?
Not going to help
especially
us.
a Porty.
Yeah, we're not going to help
Especially with Andy Dalton thrown to both of them, that's not really what
yeah, no, the Red Rifle. I mean, I'm surprised he's called the Red Rifle, really. I mean,
it's not what most people call him, but you can't really say that.
You can't say that for these.
Say that
yeah, no, I mean, you probably have a name for him as well. You're welcome to put that in the comments. I mean, there'd be no harm in that.
Ginger Ninja?
There's nothing stealthy about him at all. Yes, you are right though. He is ginger, but it's not.
He does go missing.
He does go missing a lot.
It's quite hard to see.
He's very difficult to find, actually. I've heard as a quarterback, but he worries me a lot for this season. The whole team does, frankly. It's concerning.
AJ Green, don't say that.
Well, he'd be all right. He's, as you say, when he plays, he's elite. But they hang him out to dry most years. I mean, poor bloke keeps getting injured because he puts himself up for the team.
I think he's had that
here we are.
Though.
So this is interesting. What about that quarterback there? What do you think of that?
Taking the defense.
That's a bit early, isn't it? I mean,
Twix.
I mean, look how quickly those players went off the board. Look at this. They're
flying.
Because
coming back to us soon. We haven't got any idea.
Kyler Murray went off. First quarterback taken there for that team. That's interesting.
No, he can't be doing that.
No.
Oh, I was just about to say, I know Will Fuller gets injured, but he's got an upside.
Well, we didn't get a chance to see it.
No.
Again, that's another one. Well, okay, let's think of this through. You got your DK Metcalf here. Can't really afford too many rookies.
Got 30 seconds to think.
All right, what about, very quickly then, what about Keety Cootie or...
I was thinking Keety Cootie.
Let's do that. Because
never been a Keety Cootie.
It's worth a punt here with our 3 wide receivers ahead of him. If anything should happen to one of them, I don't mind rolling the dice with him.
Yeah.
So,
in fact, in the games he played, he actually had more targets.
And if Will Fuller does do what he does and goes down, then Keaty's value goes up. So that's a useful thing.
So who are we going to look for on the bounce back then?
I think we need another running back. We're going to have to think about that.
Ronald Jones?
Well, there's worse.
Samuels? Maybe Sean McCoy could be a starter.
Yeah, I'm not trusting him. I would rather, to be honest with you, I'd rather probably go with your Jalen Samuels. But it's still a bit early for that.
About Rojo, any chance for Rojo?
He could. I mean, it is possible, but the problem is we're going on coulds. And I'd rather take a flyer on a rookie than a player that could. You know,
Ronald Jones is gone.
Well, we don't have to worry about that.
Nikhil Harry's still there.
I do like him. I really do.
We're quite high.
But we can't stack too many rookies on. We could do one more. So I think we could go with one more rookie. And if I was going to take one, it would be him. But then again, for this season, is that wide receiver going to break into our team? Unlikely. So would it be better to go with a running back, to be honest?
Corey Davis. Hurts my eyes.
Yeah. So would you say a running back might be a better option?
Yes, I think we need one.
Okay, so it's just getting the right one. Jalen Samuels I trust more than the others, if I'm honest. I think he's got work. They've already said it's a committee. So
yeah, but these two could start. McCoy into a higher upside potentially.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what we do. Let's take McCoy and then try and sandwich with him. Hold on, you've got to take Samuels off, haven't you? Oh, you got it. Oh, that's okay. McCoy. And then try and sandwich Devon Singletary with that.
Well, you can get him probably a lot later, can't you?
Yeah. And then that would be...
I don't mind me Sean McCoy in the night.
No, you don't. Not at all. That's perfectly acceptable here. And that's interesting, isn't it? In 12 teams, that's the 9th round. So it's... what are we looking at? About 108-ish? Somewhere in that range.
Well, it's the start, isn't it? So it'd be 96, 99. Peak 99, I think.
It's not bad.
903.
That's not bad. You can live with that. Got your old faithful, that Ito Smith.
Yeah, quite like him.
But will he come...
Singletary's there now.
Now, it's the ideally that's what we need to come back to us. Let's line it up and hope that comes back. It should do, because a lot of these... Yeah, we'll grab him.
Burton,
so that's perfect. So we've got McCoy and Singletary, and we
so
hope
what's
that
Frank Gore lighting up.
Frank Gore's the man that takes over. But at least you've hedged your bets. You've got a player for most of the season. It's exciting when the winter comes in. That's the playoff time. The winter's high on Buffalo. That'd be really interesting. So
yeah, I mean, there's surely a starting job between the two of them in rounds 9 and 10. So you're looking for upside.
And I think if you're looking at some of the players that have been picked around it, I mean, let's be honest. If you look at that round, McCall Hardman, unlikely. Debo Westbrook. Dede Westbrook.
He's
not
got
really.
an upside.
Golden Tate, yeah, okay. Adrian Peterson, I get it. Jalen Samuels, I quite like here. Peyton Barber might be the pick over, Rojo.
Yeah.
So it could pan out. I don't understand why you take the defenses early. It just is lazy. Sorry. Wait, hold, do it later if you have to. I don't think you need to rush. So how many more rounds do we have of this draft?
It's 15 rounds, so
we've still got 5 rounds. So okay, so what are we looking at here? Well,
Ito's
again,
still there.
if he's there, Ito, we take him.
Quite like Breeder, Damon Harris, I quite like.
Yeah, okay, any of those guys. Happy to take him.
Emmanuel Sanders.
A lot I like. I take Manuel Sanders because if he's anywhere near back, even at his age of 32, that is just so useful for our team.
Too good value.
Yeah, you can't go wrong there. I can't pass the player up like that. He's guaranteed if he plays.
Yeah,
we can afford that
risk. He was wide receiver 1 for a long time.
8 weeks of last year. Yeah. He was right in the mix till the injury. And a lot of quarterbacks have gone this round. So, I mean, again, this is fine for us because that's 4 players. I mean, we'll grab a second, but we don't need to rush it.
No.
So, and a defence went as well. So that's actually 5 picks that have gone that have no influence on us, which is good. I mean, look at the players that went. Scantlin went, I like him.
Yeah.
But other than him and Ito, I mean, but Emmanuel Sanders outclasses all of it. Emmanuel Sanders could be a pick 3 rounds or 4 rounds higher than that here, if he plays. And I think he will. So
he's playing with Flacco.
Well, even Flacco can hit Sanders. That's his speciality.
I'm not sure he can.
I hope he can.
All he hits is tight ends. For 3 yards.
3 yards. Well, I think he can find Emmanuel Sanders who's elite. So let's go with that. Let's have the belief that he can.
Or kicker. Justin Tucker. 12th round. There's 3 rounds left. Seriously.
It's not worth it. Yeah, we will
never do that.
We will take, for the benefit of the video, we will take a kicker and a defence, but most of the time me and Al won't bother with a kicker.
We don't have to take one.
We won't bother with a kicker.
This could be a good idea to show.
Yeah, we won't bother with a kicker. Okay, so let's look at the players that are available. Any value in Antonio?
Delaney Walker?
Love him, frankly.
Yeah.
Absolutely love him because he's tremendous value here at 12th round because he's got top 5 tight end upside for nothing.
Yeah, he's missed a year and he's not getting any younger, but
if he plays and when he plays, it's a bit like Green.
And Mariota kind of cows ass with a banjo, to be fair.
And all right,
but Walker does all right with him.
We probably would need a second time, but the one thing this league's going to have plenty of on the blooming waiver wire is tight ends. So
average,
so there's plenty of those out there. So I don't mind that. We're still going to have a nice pick coming back to us.
I wouldn't touch a rookie tight end this year.
No, I don't mind.
Damien Harris.
I think you're a big fan of Breeder still.
I do like Breeder.
And I think if Breeder comes back to us, which he should, I think take him.
It's a crowded backfield, though.
Yeah, it is. I prefer Damien Harris as the long shot, if I'm honest there, but I'd take a flyer on him because
Justice Hill is a long shot as well.
Yeah, but it will be a long shot in that with Ingram there. It's going to be a big, big long shot. That Naeem Hines is a good pick. I like that there. What are we going to do?
No, would you Miller or Harris or?
I go with Harris because every running back has a premium. We do need another one, so it might as well.
Offense,
at this round, 13 rounds in, I think we can afford to.
Yeah, we're taking shots. Shots are big upside here.
Yeah.
High-powered offense.
And there's some good picks in this round, some interesting ones. I mean, look at that Matteson for, obviously for the Vikings. That's a good pick there.
Yeah, if anything happens to Cook.
You've got Matt Trubisky. That's a good pick. I think, if I'm honest, right, can you go to the quarterback list just for a minute? Right, because we're at that point, right? So
do we need 2 quarterbacks? Kirk Cousins still there? Stafford?
No, we don't. We probably, with the amount that's out there, there's only 12 teams. We can probably pick a guy up off.
We've only got 2 more picks, so
no, are we
going to kick a defense, or are we going to?
No, I think you're right. We'll just keep taking players and then make decisions as the season gets close.
Yeah.
The only thing that will limit us is we're going to have to drop somebody of any value, isn't it? That's the only issue here. It's a good team.
Yeah, but we'll know who's more of value. There's more camp time.
Okay, let's look at some shots then that could be worth loading onto the team. All right, any there that you like the look of? I think Paris Campbell would be worth a shot. Do you?
Yeah, I don't mind him.
I mean,
I don't mind Austin Hooper either as a second.
I'll tell you what, take Austin Hooper.
I don't mind Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
as a
take Austin Hooper, and then see who comes back to us. And if we can, we'll grab Kirk Cousins on the bounce back, because there is still a really good chance he will.
Well, which one? I think Cousins is more likely to go.
So okay, take Cousins then, based on the hunch. But one team ahead of us
He's
has got 2.
QB ability.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
Not everyone's covered too.
Well, there you go. You got your Hooper as well. So let's do that. And that's hedging your bets, because if anything happens to Delaney Walker, then we've still got Hooper, who's a pack tight end and do the job. We haven't bothered with a kicker or defence, but we'll worry about that conundrum.
You don't have to draft a kicker or defence.
No, we've kept loading on.
Why bother? You can do it. You can pick them up nearer the season.
Draft grades count for nothing. All that counts at the end of the day is winning at the end of the season. That's all that matters. You'll always find a kicker and a defence.
Yeah, exactly.
You can roll defences against matchups. No problem there. And kickers, any given week.
Jacksonville got first week. Is it Kansas?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, would you really want that deep?
No.
Premium for that, and then have to play Kansas week 1?
No, I don't want that. No, I don't.
No, I don't.
No,
either.
I don't want that.
Which means you got to stash 2 deep. I think you can just stream defences pretty easily. Look at the matchup.
In a league this size, yes, you can. And in the bigger leagues, there's always still about 6 or 7 defences in a 16-man league still out there on any given week, because no one's holding really 2, because it's pointless. That are always there for you, so that's not too bad. Oh, it's still another round. We've got one more round to go.
No, draft complete.
Ah, there we go.
Which is weird if someone drafted 1 pick in the 6th one.
Don't understand that. Okay. Does it give you any grades or nothing?
No. Well, let's just talk through our team. I don't think he does, actually.
Okay, so
that was a live draft.
Okay, so for a live draft, let's consider the team we've actually drafted and see whether you're happy with that team. So
we've got Barkley, Chubb, Henderson, if anything happens to Gurley.
We've locked in the running back, we believe, the starter.
We've got with Sean McCoy and Devin Singletary. Surely one of them would be starting at Buffalo.
And then Damien Harris is a long shot, but worth a shot down there. That was round 13, so that was definitely
I think we've got pretty decent. I mean, AJ Green can be a wide receiver.
I mean, look at the wide receivers. I mean, you could argue if Green goes down, but you've got Robert Woods, he will start, Mike Williams, and both of those are actually got potential to actually be more than their numbers this year. You've got Keeti Kuti, who showed it, and then you've got Emmanuel Sanders as well. So I like that, and I think we can always start 2/3 very good wide receivers, and that makes me feel very comfortable with those guys. A lot of upside in that. I like the tight end situation we've managed to weave ourselves without actually paying a high price, and I think the quarterbacks we've got are going to be challenging anyway for top 5 numbers, so I feel quite confident around this team. It would make me feel good. Anything that we've seen, anything we've missed, or do you think there's any issues there?
I mean, Woods and Green are both by week 9, but I don't really worry about that. Kuti and Sanders are both by week 10, so
that's okay. By the time bye weeks come around, a lot can change in a team. So
half our team will be different from trades, and
I never worry too much that far out. I mean, the only thing I ever worry about is the early doors ones, weeks 4, 5, and 6. Is a bit difficult to get round, particularly early doors. A lot of people aren't going to trade their stars away the early doors unless they're really up against it, 6 defeats in or something. Then every win counts.
So there you go. Is that a team you like?
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments.
Thoughts are important. What do you think? Did we miss a player? And if we did, who did we miss? And if there are any players we should have added on, who were they? Please tell us and shout them out, because we love that insight from you, the watchers of the Fan Bar.
Okay, if you like the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and thanks very much for watching.